Hey,
Hey
everybody.
everybody.
Wow. Wow. I know
Yes.
we're about 18 minutes delayed.
But we here.
But we
We
here.
here.
Welcome to Dating God's
Welcome to
Way
Dating God's
on this
Way.
good old Tuesday
Good
night.
old
We
Tuesday.
are at it again.
Yes.
And
Impact. We at it
impact,
again.
we are at it again.
Yes. I'm trying to share.
And as you
I can
can
share.
see, we are live from the car.
Yes. Live on location.
Live on location. Son Cavante, hey, good
Hey. Good
evening, good
evening.
evening. Good to
Yes.
see you.
We had a good old Tuesday date night. OMG. A good old Tuesday date night. Love it. Who
We
does
love
it?
that on a Tuesday.
We do. Yes. Tuesday.
Hey, what's up,
Yes,
D?
yes,
Look,
yes.
Nichelle. I see Nichelle, Tara, Tara, Tara. Hey, Tara.
Da-da-da.
Good to see you all.
Good
Thank
to see
you,
you
thank
guys.
you, thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Kanish.
Hey,
Hey.
y'all. Yes, we out here having a good date night and we on location. Hey, T.
Tiana,
We on
hey.
location. I'm trying to share this. There we go. Try to share
Okay,
tonight.
there you go. Share, share, share. Like we are
Yes, everybody
live.
share.
We are live. We had a little date night at Mike's Seafood out here in Annapolis,
Yes.
right on River Road,
Reba.
actually. River. We're looking at the water now, looking at the
It's beautiful.
this is the
Yes, we had
Chesapeake. Yeah, so
a great date night. Thank you, honey.
yeah, you're so
It's
welcome.
great.
You're so welcome, honey. Hey, oh man,
Oh,
so
you
funny.
guys. So funny.
Uh, you was waiting, Demetrius. Go
Hey,
ahead.
yes.
Um,
Yeah, so we're in our series, honey,
yeah,
about building strong marriage partnerships.
yeah.
Someone bring me some seafood home. Go ahead. Strong building strong marriage partnerships. And tonight we're going to be talking about partnering for purpose.
Partnering for purpose. Oh,
Yes, partnering for purpose. That's what we're talking about tonight. And I think, when we talk about partnerships, honey, we started talking last week about what kind of marriages, which was really interesting. Wasn't that interesting? We found all those types of marriages. That was
yeah, for
real
sure.
interesting. All them different kind of crazy marriages. It
Yeah,
was
for
crazy.
sure.
Last week, go back and watch DGW week before last if you missed
Yeah.
that. But we start talking about purpose.
hmm
You know, individual purpose and then like marital purpose. You
Okay,
know,
okay.
yeah, and in a marital relationship, how do you partner for purpose? How do you partner beyond like your self gratification, your self needs? Because a lot of times people get into the marital relationship with what they want and need in mind.
I'm sure 99% of 99% of 99%
Love
goes go, goes into marriage without a purpose for the marriage, right? I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I do believe most marriages that I've seen, purpose was discovered later, but
Mm,
early on it was the individual fulfillment for being married, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. I think, I think when purpose is not a part of the conversation, that this is also why people sometimes lose fulfillment with marriage and or leave their partners.
and I think let me say this: purpose beyond, oh, you make a good father for the child I want to have, or you be a good mother for my children.
Purpose beyond procreation.
Yeah,
Okay? We're talking about purpose beyond procreation. Because some people's purpose in the marital relationship is just centered around the children.
yeah,
So there has to be purpose beyond procreation.
it should be purpose should be a part of. I mean, I'm not gonna give no definition and say it has to be. That's for you, T.
We're talking about God dating God's
We
way.
talking about,
So you
I know
gotta
we
have some
talking.
type of purpose
I know we're
behind
talking
it.
about dating God's way, but um, yes, I mean, yes, it should be a part. I strongly suggest
Yes, it
that
has to be a
purpose
part of the
should
conversation,
be a part.
Pastor.
What is the purpose for us for our relationship?
Yes.
What are we hearing God say for us to create, do whatever in this thing? But go ahead, E.
Yeah, this whole idea, one of the reasons why Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren was so popular, because it was answering the question of what are we here for? Like that's the book starts off. I read this book a million times. There's been a revised version of it, do 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 da da da. But it starts off asking the question, what are we here for?
Well, some people say the definition of religion is the discovery of the afterlife. The
Hmm.
discovery of what's, the reason for religion, or the purpose for religion is so you can have a place to go after death.
Right. But we know better
Right.
that the purpose of relationship with God is so that you can live, you can have life, right?
Absolutely.
And so this, when we start to get into what am I here for, I think it's really important as a believer to first have that identity security individually, because that's the only way to build purpose together.
Absolutely. Yes.
You have to have the individual identity security. You got to be secure with who God made you to be individually.
Yeah.
And that seems common sense, but it is not, Pastor.
Well,
Out in these streets is not common.
If you unsure, and I'll say this, if you unsure about your purpose, but the other person is secure in their purpose,
Yeah.
then you'll find yourself living out their purpose. And midway through the relationship, if you make it midway through the relationship, you're trying to find, what am I here for? What am I supposed to do? What am I doing in my life?
Yeah, you frustrated with the person because they're walking their purpose. That's happens in a lot of relationships. You frustrated with the person because they're walking in purpose and you're not. And so there has to be individual identity security. It has to be. There has to be. Because then the individual understanding of purpose, that as a believer, you understand that you were put on earth for God's purpose and his glory, for his purpose and glory.
Yeah. Can y'all still hear us? Because I see my Bluetooth disconnected from my car. So
people still are commenting.
Are they still commenting though? Are they actively commenting?
Pastor, don't do that.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Across the camera.
Yes, don't do that.
Are y'all still with us? Can y'all hear
my
us?
Goodness. I think they can hear us, honey. But just y'all please chime in and they say we here. We here. Hallelujah. And so, I think it's important to talk about how we not just partner with somebody else's purpose, but we also make sure that we have individual purpose.
Yeah, and this, I don't think, when some things happen within the marriage where your purpose and dissolves. Everybody's purpose is dissolved. And the purpose becomes one.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Within the marriage. But before marriage.
Yeah.
Before marriage, there has to be a clear conversation of, this is what my purpose is.
Yeah.
I know what I'm here. I know what I'm on this earth to do.
I know what God has put me here for.
Especially as a single person.
Yes.
I won't say single, I'll say as an unmarried person.
Yes.
I know what I'm here for.
Yes. There has to be some reconciliation within ourselves of like, we have some idea of what we're here for. Because I think also this is how we get into emotional cheating. People start cheating with other people through conversation and start to explore different relationships because they looking for something and they don't know what they're looking for. This is why it's important to understand purpose.
And this also leads to competition
within the relationship.
when someone knows their purpose and the other one is struggling, trying to find their purpose, it leads to a competition of, oh, you doing more than what I'm doing versus,
your thing more important than it seems like you think your thing more important than my thing.
yeah. And so all of this is really circled around purpose, knowing what you're here for.
Yeah. Knowing why you
Knowing
exist.
why you exist.
Yes. And you don't exist just to have babies and stuff, y'all. I mean, I don't know why I just keep getting with that, but that's just it. Like, it gotta be more to it than that, Will.
It is. It has to be.
It surely is, but I'm just saying. Uh, so when we talk about partnering with purpose and partnering for purpose, I think it's a couple of points that we like to bring out tonight as we get into this. Number one, understanding that you were created on purpose, with purpose, for purpose by God. I think that is essential to tonight's conversation. Each one of us was made on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose by God, period. And the more that we get connected to that truth, the more we can embrace who God has created us to be, and then embrace who God has made others to be. And that's essential in a relationship. Your ability to embrace who God has created you to be, it helps you to embrace who God has created the other person to be. And so then you can not just have purpose, but also you can embrace the purpose on other people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Date night, Willie. And so, yes, on purpose, with purpose, for purpose by God. I think, the other thing that it is key to this too is that when we start to talk about purpose, I think it's also important to understand that purpose is not like destinations.
Yeah.
What we do, where we end up, are part of purpose, but are not purpose itself.
True.
Well, career, all the different things are not purpose in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's a part of purpose.
That's right.
So
You hit everything on nail on the head.
So secondarily, it's important to understand that destinations, whether it is career or having children or buying houses or being debt free, all of those things could be a part of purpose, but not in is not purpose in and of itself.
Yeah.
Purpose is really about our divinity.
Yes.
Not about the things that make up our humanity.
That's good.
Purpose is about our divinity, not about the things that make up our humanity.
Can somebody write that in the chat? Purpose is not about our
purpose is about our divinity.
It's about our divinity, and not about
our humanity.
That's really good. I need to post that tonight.
Nice. Go ahead and post it. You cracking me up tonight.
I gotta write that in one of my discussion groups at University of Maryland.
Yes, thank you so much, Deacon Tara. Yeah, so purpose is about our divinity, not about the things that make up our humanity. And I think that's so important, Pastor Will, because sometimes the things that make up our humanity, when we start to look at those things as purpose itself, then we get off kilter in our identity.
Yeah. I always think of it like this.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to something like purpose or something we ascribe, as you saying, our humanity, and we get it mixed up with our divinity. And I always ask this question: well, what if you lose it?
Yeah. What if it goes
What
away?
if it goes away?
Then your purpose goes away?
Right. That don't sound like God, right? So, but so that's why that I mean that statement. I mean, it really hits and really rings because it's so true. Because we can make ourselves, even though you're a police officer, your purpose isn't to be a police officer because at some point you're going to retire. So once you retire, does that mean that you wilt away because you're no longer a police officer? So so your purpose can't be tied up into the things that you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Your purpose has to be a representation of who you are, has to be about who God has made you to be, period.
Yeah, that's good.
Gotta be. And, when we talk about the things that make up our humanity, whether it's career or all of the things that, we do have value, we value. I value my career. I'm grateful for it. But I understand that it is not the end all be all of my identity. Whether I assist or I'm a chief, at the end of the day, all of it is for the purpose of God. Did it get you? All, all of it is for the purpose of God. All of it is for the purpose of God.
Yeah. I heard the radio host Joe Baddison say something yesterday, and I really love what he said. And this might not have nothing to do with nothing.
Uh-oh.
Um, a caller called in, the young guy, he's about 26 years old, and he asked Mr. Madison, he asked Joe Madison, um, do you get nervous before you come on the radio? Or do you ever get nervous on the radio?
Uh-huh.
And Joe Madison said, I've been doing this for 40 years. I get nervous when I'm not on radio.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so what's that thing that makes you nervous when you're not doing it, when you're not able to do it?
Mm.
What is that pull
Yeah.
that you get when you get nervous when you are not able to do what God has called you to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't get to show up and be who you've been designed to be.
Mm.
That can begin to reveal and unlock purpose for you. And that understanding purpose, Pastor, I think also is it's a key to how you relate to other people. I mean, I think, people who are not in step with purpose are just unhappy people and and they make other people unhappy. Right? It's like they, it's not just self-sabotage, but it also can be relational sabotage. Because they're looking for something so desperately within themselves a lot of times, and then they take it out, they lash it out on others. And so, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so let's shift gears and talk about how we then start to walk in purpose together.
I'll be walking purpose together.
Building strong marriage partnerships.
Yes.
So after purpose is discovered and you begin to discover purpose. Now what, Pastor?
Now what?
Now what for the partnership? We're at the partnership now.
Within the marriage?
Yeah, because we're talking about building strong marriage. So this is a plus. This is a plus series.
Okay. So now we are in the marriage. Now how do we start begin building, especially as newlyweds? How do we start beginning? How do we start pulling this partnership together, right?
Yeah.
And finding the purpose of our marriage, or discovering the purpose of our marriage.
So we're not discovering individual purpose anymore.
Right.
I think you got to start with that.
Yeah.
That once you decide to get married, what you're making a decision on is you don't just do your individual purposes and passions, but now you're agreeing to move with partner with purpose together.
And that's real hard to do with, especially within a marriage, because what happens is that because people from your past still know you, they still are pulling on your the purpose places that you left.
Yeah.
And those things could still be pulled on.
Yeah.
And because you intimately identify with those become things that you want to do.
Yeah.
But those are some of the things we really need to check.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is this what I'm supposed to be doing now that I'm married? Now that I'm one, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And that happens through, some people don't like this, but that happens through a conversation and consent with your spouse, whether you male or female.
That's correct. We got to talk about it.
Yes.
That's it. We got to talk about it.
And I need your consent.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's like, well, are we asking for permission? Yes. Yes. We need some amount of consent. We not, our life no longer is just our our lives, our individual lives, right? So yes, purpose has to be discovered with one another.
And consent within the marriage is not a bad thing. Asking for permission from your spouse is not as bad as people make it seem to be. It's really safety.
Yes, all of our everything is now tied to each other.
And it's really healthy. It's for a healthy relationship.
Yes. Our money, our resources, our everything is tied to each other. And so how can one person operate individually when everything we got is tied to each other?
Yeah, I think you should be respectful in the consent and respectful in permission, knowing that, especially like me and E, she know I'm not being her God. I'm not guarding over her.
No.
Absolutely not. And she's not guarding or mothering over me. That's that's not our purpose for relationship. Isn't to
Lord over
each other.
Yeah.
But to maintain our purpose and our harmony and to continue to do what God has called us to do. You know what, boo? Should I be doing that?
Yeah, like let's talk about it.
Right. Should I be going across town right now to help this person out because, this is what I do. I like to help people.
There is safety in counsel, particularly when you get married. If your spouse becomes your safe place. So that keeps us in safety and also in purpose as well as our ability to have insight into each other's lives as well.
Yeah, if I felt like, my purpose, say say my purpose and my love was for homeless people, right? And it is. It is. And but say like when I was before I met E, my thing was I was going to pick up strangers and taking them to shelters and stuff like that. After I get married, now I have to come back and say, hey, I'm going to do this. And I have to listen to her and her caution, even if she says no. Because this is who God has given me
to partner with purpose
and to submit to. And all of that is inclusive.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Remember, my story about this is when like I grew up where we let everybody stay in our house. And so I wanted to do that. And so I had to talk to Pastor Will, like, I want, to help people, but I don't want to just help them. Like, I want to help them and like bring them home. Remember that, boo?
I remember the season. I remember.
It was a long season. I know. Amen. But we had to make that partnership decision together. That couldn't be my thing or just because it was what I wanted to do. We had to then partner with that purpose together.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't like and so. I mean, and it worked this way. I didn't come home to a bunch of strangers that I had no idea that was going to be at my house. That's not that's not how it happened. But it was a discussion, and then it was carried out.
Yeah, it was a discussion, and it was a discussion of purpose.
Yeah.
And then when the season ended, it was a discussion of purpose.
Yes.
The grace is lifted.
Yes.
We not doing that no more. And so, like, yeah, submission is a two-way street. Absolutely,
yes,
Dr. Adler.
Yes,
Yes.
Cousin Ruth.
Yes. It is. It is. It's a two-way street. And I think that.
Wow. Thank you for joining, Dr. Ruth. Thank you. Wow.
Yes. When we talk about partnering for purpose, Pastor, that's what we're talking about. Our ability to submit to one another, and submit to one another's leadership, one another's destiny paths, right? Like that your spouse also has purpose, identity, a call. And so we're giving way to one another, not just trying to discover how we can be the next power couple. It's just overrated, y'all. Being a power couple is overrated. We should be, as believer couples, discovering purpose.
Amen.
Discovering purpose. Not trying to find power. Power belongs to God. Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
Power belongs to God. Okay? So we're not trying to find purpose. I mean, not trying to find power. We're trying to find purpose. We're exploring purpose, not power. Yes. So yeah, that's really what we came to talk here about tonight. What we time? That's not what we came. That's what we came here to talk about tonight. Not on my own. That's what we. Sorry, y'all. We super silly tonight. That's what we came to talk about tonight. Partnering, partnering for purpose, with purpose, building a strong partnership around purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all got any questions out there for us before we
Run
away, go home? Gotta take the kids some food because I know they're like, I'm hungry.
We literally ran away.
On purpose.
On purpose, with purpose, child. Yes, and yes. So hopefully you learned tonight and got some tips about how to build a strong marriage partnership with purpose, on purpose, and for purpose. That's what we talked about tonight.
That's what we talked about tonight.
Okay.
All right. Well,
it's a great dating guys way tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. No. We drop you off no food tonight.
Love y'all. Thank y'all for joining.
Yes. Purpose. Partner with purpose. Yes, and yes.